Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Between Two Pints. I'm your host Rob, and with me today is Jay. Jay, you got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Today we're going to focus on West Coast swing because you're quite a swinger. So yeah, Jay, you teach West Coast swing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the street slang version of it is all about being a Westie.
A Westie.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not swingers.
Not swingers. And so I'll give the viewers a little background. I took in Vancouver, there's a reoccurring Groupon you can get with Rhythm City, where you get 8 lessons for like $30. And I took it and it was great. And I'm like, yeah, I know how to swing now. I'm a swinger. But the thing is, that's actually like East Coast or Lindy Hop, which is, there's many different types of swing. Well, not many, but there are very different types of swing. And what is the original? Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So West Coast swing originally came from Lindy Hop.
Okay.
Back in the 1920s. Most swing dances, let's see if I got this right, most swing dances all come from Charleston.
Charleston.
Yeah, the Charleston, and then all of a sudden you had the Lindy Hop. And then essentially what I know of it is the masses couldn't do Lindy Hop because it's way too high impact, physically demanding everything.
It's actually, to the viewers, it's great cardio. I cut an inch off my waist or two by doing like 12 weeks of Lindy Hop.
Absolutely. So. But now take someone like 55 and up, you know, the masses back then, right?
Yeah.
So things like that. And then Arthur Murray kind of came into play and took a little starter step, or what we call the jockey step. Certain things they decided to do, okay, well, we're going to take this jockey step and we're just going to break it down. And that was the step, rock step. That's
really cool.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing I've heard is one of my friends who does a lot of Lindy Hop swing, he actually introduced me to the term that it was a 3-shirt night, which means he danced so much he'd sweated through 3 shirts.
Totally.
But he actually, when I was talking to him, he was the one who explained to me the difference. And he's like, well, I do all the swing. Yeah, like swing. How did you get into it? Like, did you how long did it take for you to be a swing dancer, then to a teacher? And I've been to some of your lessons. You really do an amazing job at doing like beginner, like crash course. What was it? How to survive a Westie night?
Yeah, totally. In under 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing is I would say with West Coast swing, where it all started was about 14 years ago. I got into a snowboarding accident. I was living in Kelowna. I was up at Big White, nice powder day. I had scouts down below. It was like my 5th, 6th season. You know, I was fairly good. And what they failed to mention, my scouts down below, is if I went off this cliff, I would actually jib the rock. So one guy went ahead of me, and then I heard him scrape the rock and was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a little bit more speed. So I just hiked up a couple. And I shot off, and I went so far that it was this 15-foot cliff. I went so far that I missed the powder and the slope, and I landed flat on ice.
Oh, crap.
I stuck the landing, but it was just like so much compression on my spine, like fractured my L1, whatever, right? And then we kind of fast forward a little bit, like a month down the road. And I had a music studio, and I was a music teacher at the time. And all of a sudden, I had to shut down because I couldn't even sit in chairs.
Wow.
So I went through this huge rehabilitation phase, you name it, you know, ICBC, all that stuff. And a girlfriend at the time said, hey, we should go salsa dancing and score points, like any guy does.
Yeah, good
man.
man. Good
there's
man.
The brownie point option, right? So took that opportunity, started salsa dancing, got into it pretty good. Was enjoying it. We broke up. I kept dancing. She did not like that. And yeah, we just kept dancing. And basically, I found that it was hugely social. And I can meet all these amazing people sober, which was a bonus because it was like now I'm meeting real, authentic people. And it was really good fitness-wise. And then I found what it was doing was actually rehabilitating, keeping things strong and mobile, all that. And then the big thing was it's a lot of twisting and torque in the body, and that didn't really do it for me. My L1 was kind of, you know, yelling a little bit, and so I was like, okay, well, what can I do that's more ergonomic and low impact? And then I found West Coast swing.
I actually took some salsa lessons, and I found out that I actually don't have hips, so I can't do salsa. They're not there. So
I had
can
too
understand.
much hips.
Yeah. Oh, there
Too
you go.
much
All right,
hips.
you too much hips.
Yeah, you
I
can
bet the
go
ladies
either
like
way.
that.
You can go either way on the spectrum, right?
So you discovered and was West Coast the first swing you discovered, or did you see any of the others?
Yeah, I finally moved to Victoria and I found Lindy Hop, like Red Hot Swing. And I played around with a bunch of different instructors and just kind of seeing where it fits in. But I never really took myself, because I'm like a lover of blues, I didn't take to the idea of vintage music so much.
Oh, really?
Like Dixieland and stuff like that wasn't huge on my books. But I loved like R&B and hip hop and funk and stuff like that. And the nice thing about West Coast Swing is it was always set out to be the, as Miles and Tessa would say, some of my mentors, they would say that basically it was always set to be the redheaded stepchild, the rebellious child of swing. So it's ever-evolving street dance that basically will always constantly evolve with the music.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's super awesome. So if anything, it's been through its country phase, its blues, its disco hustle days, all that stuff. And now it's all about R&B and what we listen to, like Jason Mraz, Jack Johnson, all this cool acoustic music. And yeah, it's been really awesome. Now it's even dubsteps slipping in there.
No.
Yeah.
Just no. I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. It's actually, the interesting part that you talk about the music is really cool because that's actually what attracted me to Lindy Hop, is that I played a crap ton of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 video games.
Right.
And they're like this post-apocalyptic, but they have a very like the future before was like the 1940s view of the future. So all the music that's surviving that you can play on your little like thing in the game is all like Galaxy News Radio, which is all like big band swing from that era. And when I went to Lindy Hop, I was like, oh my god, it's like Fallout the dance.
That's hilarious you say that, because when I see the Dixieland and all those vintage jazz songs, I just think of like Mickey Mouse on the sailboat.
Oh, I should sit you down and like just force you to play Fallout for like 50 hours. Because you said you like some of the games like God of War, like it's
totally.
Yeah, no, like it just redefined it, because like I associate all that music with like hunting ghouls in like a post-apocalyptic radiated wasteland.
Yeah, that's totally it.
Yeah.
Well, some of my music students have totally brought that to my attention with the games, because I know, like when you teach you like 15, 16-year-olds, you're teaching them, they're totally going to talk about gaming, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. And so like YouTube trailers and all that, and be like, yeah, you got to check out Fallout. And
oh, yeah.
So I've heard it first out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I guess we talked a little before about this. Like, where do you see yourself going? Like you said, we talked about it. You don't really see yourself as like wanting to make a career out of a West Coast swing teacher.
No, it's interesting. I've like really started to branch out and get into a lot of like self-development stuff, and basically it's about experimenting and then trying it on like a shirt and seeing if it fits, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because my background in my life, it was like music teacher, and for the longest time I was like, it always starts out this way. My hobby becomes my passion, and I'm this composer, creator at heart. So then I kind of branch out from there. So it's like all of a sudden there'll be, I'm teaching music or I'm writing music, right? And then all of a sudden I want to be a music teacher because people want to be coached and tutored by you, right? So then they take lessons, and then all of a sudden it becomes your career, and then you kind of burn out because you're like, hey, I'm not writing as much music anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you lose the love of it. And so that's kind of what's happening, actually, is I've been doing music teaching for 14 years. So I've been a teacher for over 14 years. And then how I got into teaching dance was I was at a singles dance in Victoria, and someone came up to me with me and my partner and said, hey, do you teach? And I said, no. And they said, you should, because your style is so different than a lot of what people are doing here, and we want to do what you're doing. And I was like, okay. And so I kind of seeked out more mentors and whatnot, the Canadian swing champions and stuff like that.
All right, we are out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of like a Twitter or a Facebook thing? Or
for Facebook, I would say Dance Your Freedom Studios. You can go on that, Dance Your Freedom Studios. And then there's 9 to 9 Music Studios.
And they can find you there?
Yeah.
Talk about how much they love you?
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, Jay, it has been awesome. And
Dude.
thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for teaching me swing yesterday, West Coast swing. That was a great lesson.
So fun, man.
Thanks for drinking along, guys. We're drinking some cream soda ale from Storm Brewing. Please drink along with us. Leave some comments. Have you ever gone swing dancing? Have you ever gone any kind of dancing? Are you like me and physically don't have hips? All right. Well,
Cheers,
let's
dude.
get out of here.